Hey guys, welcome. You're at the Thrifty Journal Shop, and I am Amber. If you are new to my channel, hello, I'm so happy you found me. And for all of you guys that keep coming back, thank you. I appreciate you guys. All right, I've had some requests for some different animal fodder. So I thought today we'd do something a little different. We would work in my sketchbook that I just made. If you guys have not seen that video, I will link it down below. And actually, I created a playlist. I think it's called Sketchbook or something on those lines. And then I'm just going to play around in the sketchbook. I'll probably do some drawings in here to give you guys some ideas, fodder type things. So I just plan on playing around in here and taking you along and showing you some of the process. So I had a request for some whimsical foxes. So I drew some little ones. They're too cute. So these are eventually going to go in my next round of fodder packs. I'm working on a lot of animals and some fall stuff. So I'm thinking September. August is just flying by here, and I'm going to be out of town again. So I might have some at the end of August. We will see, but definitely for September. So I made these two. And then I just painted this one here today. And so I thought we would do something like her because this is a pretty easy fox. And then I made this one the other day. This was just me using my markers, and this was just off the cuff. And when I mean off the cuff, I mean a lot of times when I draw, I will find something to reference to look at and then put my spin on it. I'm a very visual person, but sometimes I just try to create from my own brain and see what happens. And so this was just from my own brain. So yeah, she's kind of funny with her pointed ears, but yeah, I like how she turned out too. And then I just put her in my glue book there. So I thought we would do this here today. Now I've put a mixture of different types of paper in here. I've put, well, two different types. I've got watercolor paper, and then I've got plain construction paper. I did use watercolor for this, and then I went over it with my alcohol markers. That's what's nice about watercolor and alcohol markers. You can use them over each other. I do have my gouache here, and my gouache is also something I can use my alcohol markers with too. So I think I'm going to try and use I think today I'm going to play around with my gouache, and I am not going to use my pencil. So we will see. And like I said, I am always just free flowing here and just going with it. And that is really part of my process. And I enjoy that. And it's very freeing. And there are no mistakes. There are just ways around things. And we're just practicing here. And that's what a sketchbook is for. Okay, so I am going to find another page here. I'm not going to do it on the back of this one. Maybe we'll just start here. I don't know. I think I like my color selection a little better with my watercolors. Yeah, I'm just going to use my watercolors. There's a little bit more of color palette with these browny, goldy type colors. So I am going to, and I could use both, and maybe I will. And I'm going to just set her here. So I've mentioned this before. A lot of times I like to use something as a reference, especially if you are a beginner drawer, or even if you're not. It's just nice to have something visually to look at. And you can find all sorts of fun things on Pinterest, Google. You can use things out of children's books. I find a lot of inspiration out of my own children's books or books that I have. So that is endless where you can find inspiration. And also when I use a pencil, then I have to go back and erase the pencil markings because the watercolor doesn't really hide that. So let's see. I kind of always talk about shapes. So making her face sort of elongated, and then the ears, triangle. Pencil is great too if you want to play around with a pencil. I use a pencil, and I erase sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any way that you want to create, but sometimes it's a little freeing and spontaneous to just go with it. This is an art journal, my sketchbook. This is a place just to have fun, and I will continue to do art as long as it's fun. And that's why I do it. It's a form of my self-expression. It makes me happy. And really, in the big scheme of the thing, it makes me feel like a kid again. When things were just simple and you created because you just did. All right. I'm going to make somewhat of a tail here. And we're going off the page, and that's okay. Because see, here had the tail, and then I had a little bit of the leg there. So we'll do that. Do that same thing. I know I stated in my video that this was going to be a bear journal, but there are lots of pages in this sketchbook, so we can do lots of bears, and we can just do what we want to do. There's no rules. I can't stick to that anyway. I can't stick to plans some days. I just have to go with the moment. All right, and then whoops, I'm gonna give some legs here. And usually I let me pull out those papers. Usually I put something underneath here so we're not getting paint on the next page, but then again, that's all right also. All right, this one's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna make the tail a little longer, a little wider on the tail. And we want to leave a little bit of white for the tail. So now we're going to do the inside here of the eyes, and I'm just thinking of a eye mask. And I'm not a professional watercolorist. You probably can tell by now. All right, let's outline this tail a little bit here. We can tell where the tail's at. I might go over that with my markers also. I'm not in love with these watercolors, to be honest with you. I think these are from Walmart. I don't know, they might even be from Amazon. They're not my favorite. And I think the more you play, the more you find out what you like, what artistic tools you prefer. And I'm actually really quite fond of my alcohol markers at the moment, and my gouache, and I do like watercolor. And then I like incorporating them all together. also. So we've got the body. I'm going to leave that. Okay. I'm fussing with it. I might outline that with my marker. Same thing with the eyes and nose. I think I'm going to actually use my marker for that. But let's give him a little pink for his ears. I'm going to fill this in. Okay, we're going to let this dry. And then I'm going to come back and we'll play around with some markers. I might use my acrylic markers. I've got my alcohol markers here too. And we'll add the details. Actually, I'm going to fill in the background a little bit here just to cover that white. And I'm using just all different kinds of colors. I don't care if it bleeds over. That is just a-okay. I don't want to color all of it in because I think I'm going to make a flower. I didn't leave myself a whole lot of room for a flower up here. I can always go over the watercolor with my markers. Okay, guys, let it all dry and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. The nice thing about watercolors is they dry fast. Okay, let's work on the eyes here. And I'm just going to use, I've got my alcohol markers, regular markers. I can't find my fine tip black Posca pen. So we will just going to use the black marker. And you can play around with the eyes. This is a dark brown, almost looks black, but this is brown here. A little smile. And I am going to outline here. Oops. Went a little out of line there. It's all right. I feel like her neck needs a little bit of definition. It's blending in a bit. I'm going to outline ears. Okay. That helps, just giving it a little bit of definition there so it's not all blending in. Go over this a little bit just to fill in that space. That marker might be on its way out. We got a little flower bow there. And I feel like giving her a little necklace. Fill in the rest of this. Let's give her some whiskers. All right, hit her eye, but there. She's supposed to be quirky. She's a little quirky. She's a little on the quirky side. I've got, I don't know, got this gold acrylic pen. I like these. Or they're markers. And I got gold and silver and white. And they're great for polka dots and all that fun stuff. Just, I don't know. I almost want to paint her tail a little gold here. So we can see it over the masking tape. And so she looks different, a lot different from this one. I had more of a mask in here. Her mask is pretty short, but that's what's nice. I mean, and if you like something like this and you want to recreate it, just use this as a reference point. But this is nice also too, to just play around and experiment and just have fun. And I'm going to write the date because today is my birthday. So it's 8/12/25. I'm not sure when I'm going to put this video out. I am filming a few videos ahead of time because I'm going to be heading out of town for a week. I like to have stuff out there for you guys. So I am doing a little bit of pre-recording, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this just inspires you guys to play around with your paints, your art supplies, whatever you have, and draw or doodle or create just whatever you want to do. I wanted to do a fox today, and let me know what you think. And we'll keep playing around in the sketchbook. And I will at some point have some more fodder to available, guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys find some sunshine, and I hope you find some time to create and just have fun. Thanks for watching.